Today, I want to share with you the 5 colleges in the United States of America that I believe are the most ridiculously underrated. How did I come up with this list? Well, I will tell you in just a moment, but it is well considered and it certainly could help you round out your college list as you decide which colleges to include as safeties, possibles, and reaches. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process at my website, which is collegemeister.com. So how did I come up with this list? Well, I will say this. I really focus very hard when I work with students on 3 factors. Number 1, return on investment. You want to make sure that if you're going to be spending 4 years of your life at an American college or university and probably tens of thousands of dollars at an American college or university, that you're going to get that money and time back and then some in terms, well, you're not going to get the time back, right? You're going to get the money back, hopefully, in terms of preparing you for a life of success. Hopefully, there's no guarantees, of course, but after college. So how do you do that? You have to look very long and hard at where do the graduates go upon completing their studies and earning their degree at that particular college or university, and how much money do they earn over the years after college or university. So I look at that very carefully. I also look at academic fit. This is really something that, unfortunately, increasingly, I find students and parents are not looking at. What do I mean by academic fit? Well, I also am talking about professional fit. Does the college have academics and or majors that align with what you see yourself hopefully pursuing professionally upon graduation? Will it support you in terms of getting into the world of work successfully and remaining in the world of work successfully and hopefully earning money in the future, but not just earning money, but also, feeling like you're pursuing something you're actually interested in? Must you love your career? No, you must not love it, but you ideally are going to have interest in it. And that, because if you have interest and curiosity in your career, in your major, you're more likely going to go further with it than if you completely are not strong in it or have no interest in it. So academic and, frankly, pre-professional or professional fit is sort of my number 2 criterion. And then finally, I would say that values alignment. What do I mean by values alignment? Values alignment is, do you feel in any way connected with the students you are studying with and living with, if it's, of course, a residential college experience, which most colleges I speak about are? Do you feel like there's something that resonates between you and the campus community in terms of value system, in terms of sort of people who are like you or have similar interests to you? Must you all be exactly the same and cut from the exact same cloth? No, but there should be at least a couple binding ties between you and the other students. And maybe that's in terms of your academic strength. Maybe it's in terms of your interest outside of the classroom. Maybe it's in terms of just the overall value system of the university that everyone subscribes to. But you definitely want to make sure that when you're determining colleges that you should put on your list, values alignment should be something that matters to you at every school you're going to, so that you feel comfortable both as a student but also as a person over the time in which you're there. And also you'll be proud, hopefully, to wear the badge of having graduated from that college or university for the rest of your life. Hopefully, obviously, things can change, and colleges and universities do these days quite a bit. Obviously, they're not the same places they were 25, 45 years ago, but that's another story for another day. So this leads me to talking about what are the 5 colleges that I believe are ridiculously underrated, just so ridiculously underrated where we are today in terms of, 2024? And also, we live in a world in which many students are very interested in obviously being able to earn money and support themselves and survive in this increasingly inflationary environment we find ourselves in, but also being able to pursue careers that align with their interest. Increasingly, students are very interested in STEM-related majors, engineering-related majors, whether or not that is economically driven or just running with the crowd, or just because there's so many opportunities in those areas, or this is what they've been exposed to in the K through 12 environment. I'm not really able to dissect that. Obviously, there's a sort of a chicken and egg matter there, but what I will say is one thing that all 5 of the colleges and universities I'm going to be talking about today have in common is they all definitely are STEM strong institutions. Must you major in a STEM major at all of these colleges? Not all of them, but some of them are definitely highly geared toward STEM related, engineering related majors. So that, again, this is one man's opinion. Does not mean that these should be colleges on your list, but I think overall, in the scheme of things, when I work with families, they are often interested in ranking. They're interested in ROI. They're very interested in establishing a network that's going to support the student professionally and personally for years to come. And in many ways, these colleges check all of those boxes for the majority of students with whom I'm working. But will it check the box for you? Maybe not. So again, if these are colleges that do not have majors that are of interest to you, of course you should not be applying to them. They're not ridiculously underrated for you. They have no interest. Should have no interest in colleges that don't have majors or values alignment and professional opportunities that are going to prepare you or propel you to the future you want. But again, this is my opinion based off of the students that I work with, many of whom are very interested in ROI and in STEM. But again, this may not really apply to you. But these are my top 5, starting with number 5, Santa Clara University. Santa Clara University is located in Santa Clara, California. There are not many strong private colleges in California. In fact, it's really a wasteland in terms of quality private education in California because of the centralization and power and magnetism of both the UC and the CSU system. They really suck up a lot of the oxygen in the state of California. But Santa Clara University is a school that is so underrated, particularly when you think about the private school that gets the most attention in California, which is USC, University of Southern California. You also hear, of course, about Caltech quite frequently, but that, of course, applies to a very small niche of students. When you think about a well-resourced research institution, the best two that I can think of that are private are USC and Santa Clara University, but yet you don't hear about Santa Clara University nearly as much as you hear about USC. Santa Clara University has an amazing return on investment across the board. Obviously, there are some majors that are better at propelling students to professional success than others, but in particular, Santa Clara University has a very strong business program and a very strong engineering program. STEM is strong at Santa Clara University. It's right in and around the Silicon Valley, so it's a wonderful launch pad for an industry that is still successful, though obviously it has hit some bumps and some valleys in recent months and years. But Santa Clara is still a lovely area. It's a great school. I encourage you to learn more about Santa Clara University and all it has to offer. And at the bottom of this video below in the description, I will include a link to an article I wrote about this very topic where you can read more about Santa Clara University and the other 4 universities or colleges that I'm going to be talking about today, so that you can get a little bit of a flavor of what these colleges are like before you click on their website name and do your own due diligence to determine if this particular college or university would be a good fit for you in particular. All right, so that's Santa Clara University. Number 2 on my list is the very underrated, and it's not as an exciting of a part of the country, let's put it that way. Many international students, for instance, would love to go to California, and so Santa Clara makes sense, particularly international students coming from the East, as it used to be called, Asia. You know, that's a hop, skip, and a jump away. That's the closest coast of the United States to Asia is California. Not as many international students are interested in where I'm about to mention next, because it's almost smack dab in the middle of the United States. And a lot of American students, frankly, look down their nose at this location that I'm about to mention next, but they shouldn't. I am not anti any region. I think you need to be open-minded to that. But again, you have your own value system, so you do not need to agree with me. But this is my list, so please continue listening. Number 2 on my list would be the Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. This is in Terre Haute, Indiana. It is small. It is somewhat isolated, though it's not so far from Indianapolis and St. Louis. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes from Indianapolis, which is a major metropolitan area in Indiana, in the middle of the country. And it's only about 2.5 hours away from St. Louis, Missouri. So it's not completely isolated. It's not like it's in the middle of the Amazon rainforest or anything. So I think you need to keep your mind open for Rose-Hulman, especially if you're interested in technology-related majors. So if you're not interested in STEM majors, forget about it. But this is a school that is known very well and regarded very highly by those who know. And that's who you want to impress, because those who know are usually the hirers. the people who are hiring people in the world of STEM. And if you're particularly interested in computer science related majors, I mean, this is engineering. You really have to look at Rose-Hulman. It is, not the best known of names to the average man on the street in Philadelphia or the average girl on the street in Denver, but who cares what they think? What matters is the people who are going to be hiring for the career you want to go into. And so the people who actually vet candidates for careers know about Rose-Hulman. And that's really what matters most in terms of helping you climb the corporate ladder if you want to ultimately get a job in one of the majors or major areas or pre-professional areas really that are offered at Rose-Hulman. I couldn't really go on all day, and I do in the article that I mentioned below this video about Rose-Hulman. But what I really love about it is everyone's so nice there. I mean, that's really important to me. Oftentimes in very strong institutions, there's a lot of cutthroat behavior, but I find there's a lot of collaboration at Rose-Hulman. They have a lot of really great traditions. And again, they're extremely strong in engineering. The ROI factor is amazing on all the schools I'm talking about today. And so you really must research Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. Again, I'm not going to write a book in this video because I could go on all day about each university, but Rose-Hulman should definitely be on your list if you are a strong student. Remember, these are not for the pushover students. These are good schools that are selective. They're not going to accept everyone, so I'm not guaranteeing you getting into any of these schools. But if you're a strong student and you're applying to schools that are strong in engineering, like schools like Harvey Mudd, well known, schools like Bucknell, the service academies, Cooper Union, and you're not considering Rose-Hulman, something has gone awry. You have not exposed yourself to the diversity of colleges you need to, and therefore, again, Rose-Hulman should be a school that is on your radar if you're also interested in those other schools that I just mentioned. All right, that was school number 4. School number 3 is even less well known. It's more, again, of a niche school, and it's in a location that arguably is less attractive than any other location on this list because of potential safety and sort of other issues socially in the area. But in Flint, Michigan, there is a wonderful university known as Kettering University, and that is my third on this top 5 list. We started at 5 at Santa Clara. We went down to Rose-Hulman at number 4. Number 3 is Kettering University. And while Rose-Hulman's Terre Haute, Indiana is small and relatively unknown, Flint, Michigan is home of Kettering University. It has a reputation, and it's not the best one, let's be honest. As a result, many people will completely disregard Kettering immediately upon finding out where it is located, because Flint is well past its heyday as a car manufacturing mecca. However, if you are interested in automotive engineering, if you are interested in some other forms of engineering, there are few places you could do better than by going to Kettering. And there are students who are interested in these forms of engineering and also want to have at their disposal some really amazing pre-professional opportunities. And I'm particularly fond of Kettering because it has various co-op programs and experiential learning opportunities, which allow you, if you are a student there, to gain valuable work experience while you are pursuing your degree. And the other amazing thing, unlike a lot of engineering schools that are quite large or impersonal, and in a city of about 80,000 students, or it's not students, but in the city of 80,000 residents, Kettering only has an undergraduate population of around 1,500 students. That's pretty small, and that means you're going to get a lot of personalized attention. And it has a complete lack of name recognition, though. It's really a shame that more students do not know about Kettering University. But again, if you're going into particular engineering fields in particular, it is very important that you peruse the course offerings and major offerings at Kettering University, because especially if you know what you want and it's a strong offering over at Kettering, again, the people who matter, the potential hiring managers, the companies, the people who would be interested in hiring someone with the qualifications you will have upon getting your degree at Kettering will be very impressed by a Kettering degree, even though it is not a school of engineering that is as well known as some of the big players in the field of engineering that you may have heard of. You know, the Cornell's of engineering, the schools like Carnegie Mellon and Northwestern, and some of these are obviously big names that are well known for a lot of different majors, a lot of different things. They have brand names, they're well known, but Kettering has amazing starting salaries for some of their majors in particular, but really across the board, they do a really great job of placing students. Obviously, always ask questions as you're researching a university and visiting a college or university to make sure it remains the case, because things can change from year to year. But Kettering is a small and mighty option for you to consider if you would consider living in Flint, Michigan for 4 years. And it has some really great traditions. It has a sense of school pride. And again, I'm a huge fan of the co-op experience. I know not everyone will feel as though Kettering is their cup of tea, because they may want a different type of college or university experience, and that's fine. But again, I find if you're really interested in particularly engineering, particularly automotive engineering, but other engineerings as well, Kettering University is a killer option in a good way. All right. School number 2. What's school number 2? I want to read you school number 2 right now, and it is, I'm looking at my list because I got to make sure I'm right, but it is Stevens Institute of Technology, which is in Hoboken, New Jersey. For those geographically uninformed, Hoboken, New Jersey is right across the river from New York City. So you get the best of both worlds. You are basically in an economic and cosmopolitan powerhouse of location. But because it's Hoboken, because it's right across the river, you actually get a campus. You actually get a semblance of school spirit that doesn't rely on just filtering into the city like some other Manhattan-based schools require you to do. And so it's a hop, skip, and a jump right into Manhattan if you want to be in Manhattan and experience all that the big city lights of Manhattan have to offer. But if you want to remain in sort of a nice little cocoon, but really within reach of anything you could ever need, Stevens Institute of Technology is an amazing option. Strong in business, strong in, obviously, the technology fields, as the name would indicate. It is, I believe, the best New York City metropolitan school that you have never heard of. And again, it's not officially in New York City or New York State, but it is basically right across the river from it. It has a great view of Manhattan. And with only 4,000 undergraduates, it makes being in a megalopolis quite manageable. I would also say that the quality of the advising at Stevens Institute of Technology and the camaraderie of the school spirit are pretty impressive, again, especially vis-a-vis the other schools in the neighborhood, if that makes sense. I find that the Manhattan schools almost take pride in their impersonalized behavior towards students, and the fact that you chose to be in New York, so do things on your own, figure out your own way. That's sort of the attitude of most of the Manhattan schools, regardless of their ranking or their prestige level or how well known they are. It's sort of like, this is what you bought into. You're in New York, be a big boy. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And that is not as much the case attitudinally at Stevens. I find that there's much more interest on the part of the administration, the faculty, the staff to actually support students, make them feel at home, make them feel like they're a part of a warm community. Plus, you get really amazing ROI, return on investment, in terms of these majors. And there's some just really cool programs. It's like a full-fledged university, but again, I know it has the word technology institute in it. And so a lot of people will hear, oh, it's a technology institute. They're all tech nerds. Oh, I don't want to go to a school like that. I want a more comprehensive college or university experience. Especially if you would like a more comprehensive college or university experience, but also in a major urban area, but also one that has a campus. I feel like you can't really do better in many ways than Stevens Institute of Technology, particularly, of course, if they have majors that are of interest to you. And they don't have all the majors, but they do have more majors than some of the other colleges I mentioned on this list. For instance, schools like Kettering and schools like Rose-Hulman are amazing schools, but they are far more focused on a small number of majors, whereas at a school like Stevens Institute of Technology, you have more of the meat and potatoes majors you will find at a lot of colleges and universities. But of course, again, their strength, in my opinion, is most notable in the STEM, engineering, and business realms, all of which are strong financial options if you are thinking about earning money upon graduating from college or university. And again, it's a manageable size in a very, very large metropolitan area. I don't think you can do better in many ways. Again, it's selective. These are all selective schools. Many of you will not have the scores or the grades to get in if you are submitting your scores. And also, they expect students to be strong outside the classroom too, in terms of pursuing extracurricular pursuits and writing well in their application, in terms of their essays, their personal statements. So don't in any way think these are underrated, i.e. you have an easy chance of getting in. I think of all the schools we've talked about, the one probably with the highest acceptance rate is Kettering, because it's completely off the map of most students and it's in a location that doesn't attract as many students. But all of these schools will reject students applying if they're not strong enough academically to hang, if you will, with the typical student intellectually, academically at the school. Again, Kettering would probably be, of all the schools on the list, the one with the highest acceptance rate. But all of these schools are not going to be for everyone if you're not really a strong student. All right. And then finally, my favorite, number one on the list of my top schools that I would say are ridiculously underrated, especially if you're interested in the world of STEM and engineering. And this would be Craig's favorite, the Colorado School of Mines. This is in Golden, Colorado, which is known obviously for alcohol because of some company that is there. But what I will say is, or was founded there, what I will say is that you do not have to be an alcoholic. You do not have to drink in order to enjoy Golden, Colorado. You can enjoy the amazing education on offer at the Colorado School of Mines. Many people hear the Colorado School of Mines for the first time, and they think immediately of like a mine shaft somewhere where they're going to have to get sooty and covered in coal. And I can't help but agree that, names matter. Obviously, the first impression of something or someone is their name often. And so, look, I can't change the name of the school. It's the Colorado School of Mines, but there are a lot of majors there that have nothing to do with mine shafts. Let's put it that way. And most, I don't think any of them, probably they do. They engineering related to digging and stuff. So, but you do not have to be a Seven Dwarf from the Snow White and the Seven Dwarf movie or to go there. Again, I just, my mind immediately goes toward thinking about Sleepy and Happy and all these seven dwarves with Snow White. When I think of mines, I immediately think of the mine train ride at Walt Disney World. But move on past your first impressions of the name, and then instead, I want you to think about your future, which is Colorado School of Mines is a public school. Yet, can you believe this? It is a public school. And it is a school, therefore the starting price of tuition is going to be far lower than a private school. Now, again, I don't know where everything else will fall for you in terms of getting scholarships elsewhere. So I don't know if it will be the cheapest school on your list ultimately. But the amazing thing about Colorado School of Mines is their ROI. I cannot emphasize enough the return on investment from getting a degree there is extremely high. You get personalized attention. You have the opportunity to take part in co-op programs, in the industry connections, other students who want the opportunity to live in a beautiful part of the country, as is Golden, Colorado, the whole Rocky Mountain West. So there are people who love the outdoors as well. It's an amazing quality of life. Colorado has more sunny days than I think many other states. It does get cold, of course, but it's a safe and secure location. Not all the colleges that we've mentioned today are in the safest locations these days. Golden, Colorado is pretty darn safe relative to those other places. And again, Colorado residents have the pick, it's amazing because it's a public school. So Colorado residents have it really good when they apply and get in to Colorado School of Mines. They have amazing traditions. But again, I encourage you to understand their ROI is really where I'm most focused. If you are interested in any of the majors that are offered by Colorado School of Mines, and you want to have a really nice work-life balance in terms of quality of life, in terms of the community you're going to school in for 4 years, the friendliness of the people at the school, the intelligence, but it does not come wrapped up with the typical cutthroat nature that you would find at a lot of schools that offer similar majors, the bigger name schools on the east or west coasts or big cities. I think you really are doing yourself a disservice if you have not done your due diligence about the Colorado School of Mines. Only 5,500 undergraduates. Golden, like I said, is a charming city. It's about 15 miles west of Denver. Denver obviously has some pros and cons these days, but again, it's outside of Denver, so you're 15 miles away, but everything you can need is in Denver if you really can't find it in Golden. Again, amazing, strong industry connections, hands-on learning, amazing not extracurricular alone, but recreational opportunities in a supportive campus community, very strong career services, Pay scale indicates that the ROI, the pay scale data is wonderful. 79,000 in many cases or higher. The median salary for alumni with 0 to 5 years experience, and for alumni with 10 years or more of experience, on average $150,000 roughly. Again, this may be changing because of inflation, because of future statistics that will be added to the mix in the future. So if you're watching this in 2025, 2026, again, don't quote me on these exact numbers for that year because that's the future. I don't know what the future holds, but what I will say is that Colorado School of Mines consistently punches above its weight in terms of name recognition, not very well known to those who are just acquainting themselves with the college admissions process and the diversity of options out there, particularly related to STEM and engineering. But for those who know, I am one of those people. But also the people who know are the people who hire for jobs in these fields, of course. Colorado School of Mines has a very strong reputation. And so I would say it is the most ridiculously underrated college or university in the United States for the panoply of students with whom I work. I would recommend it more to them than probably any other school. I find myself recommending for people who want an out-of-the-box option that they just haven't thought of that also offers everything that they would want in a college or university. And therefore, that is why it is number one on my list of the most ridiculously underrated colleges and universities right now in the United States. If you want to learn more about this college or any of the colleges that I talked about today, please click on the link below this video to the full article where I write in detail about these colleges' traditions, their current data related to salary for students who are 5 years out, 10 years out from graduation. Again, does not promise that this will happen to you exactly, get the same salary, but it gives you an idea of the success of those graduating from these institutions. All 5 are amazing for the right fit student. You may want to major in history or women's studies and as a result, have no interest in any of these schools. And that's okay. Though I think a couple of schools actually do offer majors in history. But the fact of the matter is, if you are interested, particularly in engineering, STEM, and in some cases business as well, these are really great options. I hope you do your due diligence. Always, when you're developing a college list, you want to have strong safeties, strong possibles, strong reaches. Depending on who you are, these colleges could occupy different levels of your list, safety, possible, or reach. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Click on the link below this video to read more about all of them. I'm just giving you a primer onto why I love them all. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one to develop your unique college list. Please go to my website, collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.